Good morning, my love. I pray that everybody is having a blessed day. Today, I just want to encourage those that are feeling alone or feeling isolated. My first thing I want to say is never feel like the isolation is a bad thing. Sometimes when you're isolated, that's when you hear from God the most. And a lot of times, God will shake up your world, make things uncomfortable, make people leave you, make you realize who's for you and who's not, just so that you can hear the voice of God and speak to Him. And one of the things I want to encourage you guys to do is just, if you feel alone, and isolated, use that as time to be 100% vulnerable with God, because He is the one that can heal us. He is the one that can comfort us, that can guide us and protect us. And those seasons of isolations are the best season for you to grow. Anytime you face adversity, it's a change for you to change the narrative. But the most important thing for us to do is just get closer to God, because God is never too far. He's just simply waiting for us to lay those burdens at His feet and say, God, I need you. God, I want you. And just be 100% vulnerable. I promise those burdens that we carry will get much lighter. And I am speaking from experience. So I wanted to share that. And I just pray that the devil's voice or whatever it is that he's making you feel, because being alone is one of the, I feel like that's one of his favorite things to do, is just make us feel alone and feel like we're the only person battling with something. But you're not alone. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I hope that this helped. Isolation is the time to grow, not a and one of the things that I've grown to know based off experience, that a lot of times in isolation, our mind is idle, right? And our mind is the battlefield for the devil to get in and plant all these lies and whatever it is that he chooses to keep us in a negative headspace. But when your mind is idle, when your heart is idle, it's so important in isolation to call upon God, because that's when I was at my low point, it was a mental battle for me. But that's when I developed a closer relationship with God. And that's when I began to hear from Him so deeply. And even though I didn't immediately, my circumstances didn't change immediately, because God was like, my grace is sufficient enough. You can go through this, you can handle it. But He allowed me to hear His voice. So every day as I was still going through those mental battles, I was hearing from God, to the point that I had to get notebooks and write down everything that God was saying to me, So it was one of them type of things where it was like, God, you're just so good. Even though, you didn't take this burden from me, or with the devil, this temporary circumstance that the devil thought he was winning. God was like, listen, you're gonna hear from me, and I'm gonna guide you through it. And now I can be able to share that experience with you guys, because listen, I know firsthand how those mental battles, and when you're isolated and feeling alone, especially me being a loner by choice, but when the devil creeps in and he gets to plant those negative thoughts. So I just pray that you guys overcome. You are not alone. And I just pray that you take control of your mind and fill that negative with the positive spirit of God. Blessed day, guys.